Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Shalom, Om Swastiastu, Namo Buddhaya. Salam kebajikan. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Selamat pagi, Bapak dan Ibu. Oh, come on. It's the first concurrent session. All I get is pagi. Can we try once more? Yeah, with a more spirited way. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Selamat pagi, Bapak dan Ibu. That's so much better. Thank you very much. We have to have that spirit this morning because we were going to have the concurrent session 1. This is the day 1 that we are looking for, waiting for. We have our moderator and speakers at table at the front today. We'll be looking forward for the discussions. And ladies and gentlemen, can I have the biggest round of applause for the 50th IPA Convex 2026? 50 years of energy partnership, shaping the next era for advancing growth. My name is Nitya Anissa. You can call me Nit, like I need you. It is an honor for me to be the host of today's session on behalf of IPA Convex 2026 and the organizing committee. Allow me to extend our sincere appreciations at all of you joining us today at the South Tangerang, early in the morning, the traffic and everything. Thank you very much. As we celebrate the 50th edition of IPA Convex, this event, I believe, continues to serve as a leading platform that brings together, I see industry leaders, I also see policymakers, investors, and professionals to foster collaboration, innovations, and of course, the most important thing, sustainable growth in Indonesia's energy sectors. We'll be here for 3 days, from May 20th to 22nd. And I think this milestones event reflects our shared commitment to shaping the future of the oil and gas industry in Indonesia, and I believe beyond. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to start very soon the concurrent session 1. And today's session will explore how integrated technologies, collaborative project models, and digital-enabled workflows can accelerate project timelines, improve safety and constructability, and also reduce execution risk, and ultimately create greater long-term value across offshore developments. And this session will be led by our moderator, who brings extensive leadership experience in driving innovations and operational excellence across the energy sector. Mr. Nurzhan Ongaltayev is the Managing Director for SLB Indonesia. Good morning, sir. With over 20 years of global experience across corporate strategy, management, and finance, he previously served as CFO for Subsea and led key initiatives in developing SLB's corporate strategy. Ladies and gentlemen, please give the biggest round of applause for our moderator for today, and also thank you so much. And also, I would like to invite everyone to submit your questions here. You may be seated, sir. It's okay. If you want to sit. Yeah. And I would like to invite everyone that you can submit your questions through the platform provided, and selected questions will be addressed during the Q&A sessions. We encourage everyone to take this opportunity to engage directly with our speakers and share your thoughts of inquiries. Once again, give the biggest round of applause for our moderator, Mr. Nurzhan Ongaltayev, Managing Director of SLB.
Selamat pagi. Selamat pagi. Yeah. Thank you for the introduction. Good morning, everybody. Very exciting moment today as we start our IPA Convex, the 50th anniversary. It's an impressive date, actually. So, and I have to say thank you to IPA, to all the partners, to the committee, to all the companies and representatives coming and joining us this week to celebrate this moment. So, thank you and welcome. Quite happy to start to kick off the IPA Convex with the important project on large capital project development. And I have an impressive lineup in the panelists here. So today we're going to talk about offshore developments largely. As we all know, offshore capital developments are facing tremendous challenge today. There is a lot of pressure on multiple aspects. One is speed, how quick we can execute those projects that impacts the NPV of the projects. Of course, make it safe with a good quality and working with different governments and regulations. So this is very important for us to explore today with my panelists. So I would like to invite Biswdeep, Vice President Operations for McDermott, please. If you help me to come up, yes, welcome. Chris, Vice President Asia Pacific for Subsea 7. Simone Belli, Vice President Development Projects for E&I. And Rifkiandi, Senior Advisor for INPEX. If I may briefly talk about each of the panelists, it's an impressive list actually. So I was looking at their career over the years. Actually, I have to say over decades. Each of them worked more than 20 or up to 30 years in the industry with a very relevant experience across the globe. So starting off from Rifkiandi on the right side, Senior Advisor for INPEX, almost 30 years of experience in different executive leadership on project execution, project governance, and organizational readiness. Another impressive moment actually is that Rifkiandi worked in different companies, namely, apart from INPEX, BP, Total Energies, and Pertamina. I think this is impressive, so welcome to the panel, Rifkiandi. Simone, Vice President Development Projects, more than 2 decades in the industry as well, managing large-scale projects across the globe. Welcome. Chris, Subsea 7, VP for Asia Pacific, 25 years of experience, largely in SURF, around engineering and construction sectors, working in multiple countries as well. Welcome again, managing complex projects, and I know Chris from before. And Biswdeep, welcome again, Head of Asia Operations for McDermott. Almost 30 years of experience in the industry. Impressive experience across Asia, Middle East, United States, and Latin America. Held different roles in operations and commercial domains, including managing large-scale projects. So combined within the panelists, we have 101 years of experience, of relevant experience that we can capitalize to develop our Indonesian projects. I think this is impressive, so thank you very much for joining our panel today. So today's topic is around technology-driven innovation for advancing project development. A discussion we're going to have is not whether technology exists. I think we have been talking about technology development for a very long time, for decades, I have to say, and we'll give some examples of the technologies. I think the important question now for us will be, so we can explore how we can get those technologies into our country and develop our projects faster. And that can be around digital engineering, AIs, different workflows, modular structures. All of that will come quite handy in our discussion. So again, welcome. The first question and the first topic that I would like to discuss is around what are the bottlenecks that we're seeing today in project execution, in making it fast. And maybe I can start from Rifkiandi. What are the 1 or 2 large bottlenecks that you see in the projects today that is delaying the projects?
Okay, thank you, Pak Nurzhan. Selamat pagi, Bapak, Ibu. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for allowing me to brief you a little bit about the Abadi projects. So before I answer your question, perhaps I may say a little bit that the Abadi is a nationally strategic development, which is important not only for us as the operator and our GV partner, but also for the long-term energy security and economic growth of this country. So our project is quite unique. It is located far away from Jakarta, at the southernmost part of Indonesia, with a very minimum infrastructure and logistic support. So that's quite challenging to us. So when you're talking about the bottlenecking or the challenges, I would say that in addition into managing for EPC contract packages that we will have during the EPCI. At the moment, we need also to improve the existing infrastructure facilities to support our projects, and also to build the capacity of the local by upskilling the workers. So that's one of the, I don't say it's the bottleneck, but it's a challenge for us to solve with the projects. And one of our EPC package is the largest contract at the, for time being. So we need to conduct a careful negotiation on this contract to ensure all the right elements are well captured, especially for the safety and quality performance. I think that's my opening.
Thank you,
points.
Pak Rifki. Terima kasih. ENI is quite well known globally as a fast developer of the projects. So what do you think are the usual bottlenecks, and how do you overcome those across the globe? Pak Simone?
Yeah, no, thank you very much, Nurzhan, for the question. I believe that accelerated delivery of the project is really a combination of three key factors: clarity, collaboration, and technology. Let's start from clarity, because to me it's one of the key point, of the key factor. Accelerated project needs clear priorities and fast decision making. You know, very often delays does not come from the technical complexity, but rather from either fragmented alignment or a slow approval process. You know, we tend to think that to go fast, we have to optimize the execution phase, but to me that's just the last piece of the mile. Everything starts since the beginning. The day after we make a valuable discovery, then the clock starts ticking, and everything depends on what we are doing since the day one. So the way we design the project, the way we are able to engage and align the stakeholder, the way we are able to make the decision since that moment in time. And the second key factor is collaboration. Collaboration among all the local stakeholders, authorities, regulators, partners, contractors, because I consider that the early engagement of all the stakeholders is really essential to achieve a common understanding, to leverage on the expertise, to try to capture all the potential opportunities in order to minimize the reworks and reduce the uncertainties in moving forward. I always encourage my project teams to early engage all the stakeholders and to go beyond what is a traditional client contractor or operator first party mindset, and facilitate the communication and the collaboration, because I really believe that we have to work together, and the collaboration is a key factor to drive success. The last one is technology. Of course, technology is becoming a major differentiator. There are a lot of technology and digital tools we may leverage on. I'm thinking about project management tools, predictive analytics, or advanced fabrication technologies that for sure can improve the efficiency, reduce the risks, and optimize the schedule. To conclude, I would say that to me today, the companies that are able to deliver faster are the ones that are able to successfully combine the digital innovation, but together with an agile execution environment and a very strong cross-collaboration among all the stakeholders.
Thank you, Pak Simone. I appreciate your comment on that one. Quite impressive. Now moving to the EPC part. As the largest, one of the largest EPC providers globally, what do you think? Where do we lose most of the time during the project execution?
Selamat pagi. So thank you for the question. So instead of just heading to where could be the bottlenecks, we heard from the operator's perspective, let me bring in purely from a contractor's perspective, where do we see a bit of challenges? I would not say bottlenecks, but if we can leverage on them, if we can clear them early in the game, how will they help in bringing in delivery certainty, which is kind of a mantra for McDermott world as well. So I would say locking in the engineering and procurement piece early in the game. ENP, how we are setting up the project, how soon we can define the project scope, define the boundaries, and then manage the ENP, probably feed plus, early engineering, lock in the key long lead vendors, so on and so forth. The second piece I would like to address is about the interface management, as especially in the deep water world, subsea world, we see customers rely on at least more than 2 or 3 service providers or contractors to deliver several pieces of the project. So early engagement, getting the interface management piece fixed early in the game, define the battery limits, having regular interaction in terms of interface matrices would definitely help help in ensuring the seriousness and certainty for the project. The third piece I would say is the quick decision making, change management. Yes, changes are bound to happen, but how soon and how quick and how agile we react to them, both from operator's perspective and from contractor's perspective, would actually set project or any project on the right track, and will definitely deliver project certainty in terms of completion, in terms of budget and schedule. That would be my opening comment. Thank you.
Thank you, Pa. Thank you. So moving on to you, Pa Chris. So we know the subsea technologies are evolving. They've been evolving for a long time. So what are we doing to reduce the complexity of those projects from the subsea perspective?
Thank you for the question, Selamat pagi. I think if we focus on technology on that part of the question, the first thing that we focus on is not making it more complex. The answer is in the question, isn't it? Is to simplify and standardize. Okay, and we have good examples globally where we're doing that. And a good example is in Brazil. We have 4 big deep water projects, all very similar. We have 300 or 400 engineers, and they're just designing the same pipe, the same installation aids, the same hardware, and the same procurement, bang, one after the other. Okay, and with that, you get the standardization, you get the benefits of reducing the risk, the cost, the time, the schedule. So very much a portfolio approach. Okay, and we underpin that using our technology. You touched on digital engineering, so we're driving our engineering down. It's at least 30% more efficient than it was just 5 years ago, just by using digital engineering. And that drives down the cost. It also drives down the time and the schedule, so that we can accelerate at the front end. But the ultimate benefit of technology is elimination. Okay, if you can use technology to eliminate, then that's a big change in terms of complexity. And we do see examples where we're stepping out further and further from the host. So the long distance tiebacks, where we can actually eliminate a host, and then you have a magnitude of cost savings. So there's a project in Australia, the Julima project. That's a 21 kilometre production tieback, 18-inch gas project, LNG project. Very thick wall thickness. And there are other examples where you can use advanced pipeline technologies, boosting systems, and you can actually eliminate a whole host. And that's the ultimate game changer. So technology can be used for elimination, but I think touching on what you said, it also comes down to how you use that technology and how you deploy it. You've got to pull everything together. And I do agree with you, Simone. If you get the clarity and the alignment, then you can get some amazing results. The best project, or the fastest project Subsea 7's done, was the Sakarya project in Turkey. That was 30 months from discovery to first gas. That's a 10-well development, 2,000 meters, a gas plant, everything. But the only way we did that is from alignment from the top, the alignment on decision making. So we were placing awards on the procurement before we actually placed the award on our main contract. So the approval process was very fast, the decision making was clear, and we had alignment right through the project. We standardized, we pulled all that together, the standardization, the digital engineering, eliminated what we could, and we got 30 months. So It can be done, but you have to pull it all together, integrate the alignment with the ways of working.
Thank you, Chris. Just to build on this one, and probably it's a question to everybody on the panel, is speed is important. But does it have any disadvantage to the project itself, to the production towards the end? So you talked about Sakari as a project, you talked about Brazil. I think these are well-known projects in the industry. And this question is open to everybody in the panel. Maybe actually it's interesting to hear from INPEX or E&I perspective. Or maybe Chris, you can start off, yeah.
Look, I can start and then I can warm up the crowd. If it's underpinned by fundamentals, by robust fundamentals, so if you're using standard products and proven designs, then you mitigate the risk, okay? If you go fast and you're learning something for the first time, of course, it's a problem. But you have to underpin it with the strong fundamentals, and then it's okay, yeah.
And do you need specific volumes for that? Because there are a lot of projects that we're doing as a bespoke project, right, in this part of the world. If you think of Brazil, you're talking about hundreds of wells. It's pretty much one main operator doing the work. So is it easier to standardize that kind of fields and environment compared to Indonesia?
Of course, if you get the volume in the context, it's easier, but it doesn't have to be. We can pull in the global experience with our local partners. It's possible.
Yes, for Abadi project, we have a complicated systems in the projects. We have the deep water subsea production system. We have the large FPSO and offloading facilities. We have long distance pipeline that will cross the deepest part of the ocean, more than 1,500 meters, and lastly, the biggest one, the onshore LNG plant. So we are looking after the standardization, basically from all the contractors that will be participating in our projects. At the moment, we have engaged some contractors in the FEED executions. We have more than 50% FEED progress as of today. We expect to complete it by today. By end of this year. So during this FEED execution, we really encourage our contractors to provide the technology options. But it's not only the technology. The important thing is the good execution strategy for the project itself. We cannot have the technology selection alone, but we need to combine it between the technology, global expertise, and the best or the modern construction methodology. So by having that combination of technology, execution strategy, we expect to have the more safe execution of the project, because we are in the remote area, and by that we expect we have better efficiency in the execution, and to improve the schedule certainty. So I fully agree with Chris that we expect to have standardization, but let's look at in the overall and comprehensive approach for the construction.
Thank you, Rifki.
So to add to that, your point, with technology, I'd also like to bring automation there, especially to give an example for one of the best deepwater asset for McDermott Amazon. We have reached a situation where we have automated the whole functioning and operability of the vessel to an extent that the POB, as we call it, the persons on board, I was discussing with you just before the event, has been actually brought down to an estimate that we bring in certainty, we eliminate or reduce rooms for errors, and bring in that automation piece. She's a JLA asset and doing some amazing work in the Western Hemisphere, and especially for the Indonesia market, she can again be a great asset. And yes, automation driven with technology, combined with that, repeatability will definitely be the area to be focusing on with that particular example. Thank you.
Thank you, Pai. Actually, right on that topic, maybe I can talk about technology, what kind of technology is available in the market. I'm probably starting off from INPEX, Rifki, if you allow me. You mentioned about digital. We're all talking about AI. There is a lot of buzz out there. And we do believe that it's helping. But is it helping? Is it a reality? Do you see the workflows being automated? Do you see a real impact of AI in your operations, in your planning and execution globally? Rifki, if you may start.
Well, we have engaged several contractors in the field execution. And the project location spread across the world. And effectively, our team are working 24 hours because of the different time zone. So for us, digitalization brings real value to our projects. And in terms of the AI, we anticipate and we expect for its maximum contribution during the operation phase, for the production optimization and for the predictive maintenance. So shortly, yes, it's helped us a lot in these projects.
Anybody has a different view? Anybody can say that AI and digital is not helping? No. Okay, we have a full agreement with Rifki. Just moving to Simone, from E&I perspective, what are the real use case for the technologies that is helping you to accelerate the timeline, but also reducing the cost? If you can give us some example on that.
Yeah, no, thank you. Thank you very much for the question, Nurzhan. I think that in E&I, one of the key success factor is the ability to leverage on technologies and digital tools across the project life cycle. So starting from the subsurface, moving to the engineering and to the operational readiness. The technology that brings the most impact value are the ones that improve speed, that reduce the uncertainties and improve the efficiencies. But again, since the beginning and across all the project life cycle. For example, as one of the most advanced industrial supercomputing technology, the HPC6, allow E&I to process a massive quantity of data at an unprecedented speed. And this gives us the opportunity to improve the exploration accuracies, the operational performances, and the time to value across all the global projects. Of course, beside this technology, we leverage on well-known and proven technologies. The first one comes to my mind is the cloud-based engineering. We have engineering teams in different execution centers that can work together on the same model that is real-time synchronized, and this reduce significantly the review and approval cycles and mitigate all the engineering inconsistencies in moving forward. Then, of course, we leverage as well on standardization and advanced fabrication technologies that can improve the efficiencies, reduce the construction complexity, and increase as well safety. And you know, on sizable project, even a small percentage improvement translate in a valuable impact from a capital efficiency and time to market standpoint. So again, one of the key factor is the ability to leverage on these digital tools. But I really believe, as I mentioned before, that the digital innovation create value when it's fully integrated into an agile execution environment and a fast decision-making environment, not when it operates as a standalone initiative.
Thank you, Simone. Moving on to you, Biswdeep. We talked about modular construction, we talked about standardization. Are we seeing that at certain point we're hitting the wall and saying this does not improve the schedule of the projects anymore and we have done everything we could? There is still more to be done on that front.
No, for sure we got more to do, especially from Indonesian perspective, as we were talking a while back. we see at least 3 FPSOs in the next few years, just from Indonesia perspective, without naming them in a particular order. Therefore, these FPSOs will have modules, topsides, and we see as a company a great deal of room for further improvement in modularization, in digitalization, and in standardization of the products, where we can have a very similar E&P solution-driven, improving and enhancing the local content more and more for Indonesia. And therefore, this modularization will definitely help the customers, the local content requirement to a great deal. Yeah.
So if you think of the journey itself, where are we at right now? Are we halfway? There is still more room to improve, or we're now at the diminishing result point?
More room to improve, for sure. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Pa. So Chris, on to you. If you think of the architecture selection, how important it is to select it early enough, and how does that impact the project execution, but also into the downstream activity afterwards?
I mean, the subsea architecture sets the project, doesn't it? It sets the risk, sets the flavor of the project. It's the most critical part of that phase. And it's critical to get the balance right between the CapEx and the OpEx, and every project will be different. The Abadi being so remote, you'll have to spend a lot more money on the CapEx to decrease your OpEx. I mean, if the same project was offshore where you are, it's a different scenario. So we need to use that to understand and really think with the end in mind, how we actually going to use the project, how we actually going to use the development. So that part is absolutely critical to uncover the risks, and I think you touched on it earlier. You want to uncover the risks, lock in your procurement, lock in your engineering, and set the project up for success. And there are lots of digital tools that we have tools that do that sort of stuff as well. We can design a whole field in a day, but then it's a question of how you use that float. You need to use it wisely to fast track the project and uncover those risks.
So now the question to Pa Rifki and Pa Simone. So what you hear from the contractors really for you guys is, there are different operators having their own way and means of building the projects. And also these companies are bringing up new ideas and, call it, are you ready to entertain supplier-led solutions to fast-track the projects? Is that the main priority for you, or you want a bespoke solution because it fits to your, philosophy, if you wish, right, as a company?
I would say that, as we discussed already, one of the key success factors is collaboration. So I believe that engage all the stakeholders, contractors, partners. It's really essential to assess any potential opportunities, to understand each other, to build trust, and to capture any potential opportunities to squeeze the schedule or optimize cost, reduce cost. Of course, it's always a matter of the way we are able to mitigate the risks, right? So whenever it's a proven technology, we are more comfortable and ready to move fast. If we have a technology that may reduce uncertainties and improve the efficiencies, then it's a matter of taking together that risks and mitigate it proactively in moving forward. But we prove in the recent past that we applied successfully new technologies, and we have successful stories that give us that strength to again to leverage on that for the next developments to come.
Yes, Pak Nurzhan. So to respond to your question, so we are responding to the government clear direction to accelerate the delivery and bring the project on stream as early as possible. So we are working closely with the contractors. We engage at the beginning with all the potential vendor, potential contractor to find the best solution for the project execution. Again, it's not only the technology selection, but also the combination with the execution strategy, integrated planning, having our challenges for the remote area and supporting facilities. So again, we we believe that to deliver the best performance of the projects, we need good collaboration, not only with the internal team, but also with all the contractors, vendors, government, SKK Migas to find the best solution of the projects. Nevertheless, we think that we need to strike a balance between the fostering the innovation and the discipline, with the discipline of the project execution. That's to have the most efficient and the best schedule that we can deliver. Yeah.
Thank you, Parifki. Just as a follow-up to everybody, right? Essentially, we talked about, Chris, you mentioned a couple of projects where we managed to fast-track the projects. Can you give us more examples where the AI and digital and technology advancement helped you to reduce the cost? Like, give one or two examples and give us some sort of a range. The 10% cost and schedule improvement, 20, 30, and are we seeing that to double down in the era of AI and digital in the future? So think of a project that we did 10 years ago versus what we're doing today, and how that's going to shape today's decision and also the future projects. Are you seeing that large acceleration in costs on schedule, but then reduction in cost?
Yeah, I mean, not from AI perspective, but I can definitely tell you from digital perspective, the recently completed project for Shell, that McDermott completed Shell Crux project. Digital twin was heavily involved and used and deployed in that particular project, wherein we had a common platform, of course, hosted by Shell in particular, and then McDermott and all other contractors used to upload documents, deliverables in the same platform, real-time review and commenting on the documents and deliverables were progressing, went through the procurement cycle phase, and then of course during fabrication phase. I would say definitely that helped in reducing the schedule, which was itself a very tight one for a complex 30,000 ton structures, jacket structure like that. And it just didn't end in that project execution phase. I'm sure Shell is going to benefit from it even during their OPEX period over the next 25 years in producing, because they have everything in one common platform, right from detail engineering phase all through the execution phase, and then actually the field when it will be under production. So that's an example that I can give you offhand. And similarly, we are doing a similar thing again for Shell in the Western Hemisphere. Shell Manatee, we have a very similar, I would say a bit more enhanced digital twin platform wherein we are replicating the same thing. And we could see the customers of late, especially, likes of Abadi and ENI projects coming up. We see a great room there, to improve upon them and deliver a better product going forward. These are coming more and more from customers that we see in the recent times. Thank you.
Anything else you want to add, panelists?
I can just to touch on the example I used earlier, the Sicario project. We did that in 30 months. I think if you tried to do that project 10 years ago, it would have taken you at least 5 years. And the key was the digitalization of the engineering up front. You could design the whole thing in months, whereas it would have taken years. So we're seeing value in the time and the float and the schedule. That's where it's really unlocking value. You can use that to de-risk your project.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you. So now, bringing all this discussion to Indonesia, I think this is the most important point that we need to cover today, is really how we can collaborate together here in country, how we can create the local capability or expand on it, and how we can improve the Indonesia competitiveness, not just as a supply chain solution, but actually as an industry itself. So the first question, Parifki, to yourself, so what do you think we need to improve in Indonesia to fast-track the projects, the large projects, in an efficient way and a safe way?
First, early engagement with all the stakeholders, not only the government, but also the contractors, vendors, all the parties in the project. When we have the early engagement, we know the constraint, and we can share the common solution to mitigate the risk. And I see that for the project like us, how to make it efficient is more on the good execution strategy and the best technology and construction method. That's the only thing to make it faster. Yeah.
Thank you, Rifki. Simone, to yourself, what are the lessons learned we can get from outside and bring it to Indonesia, in your view?
Thank you, Nurzhan. I consider there are several lessons that comes from global projects from other regions that might be adapted as well in Indonesia. One of the strongest one that comes to my mind is that, again, speed comes from simplifying execution module that enable the fast decision making and the stakeholder alignment. Another one, another lessons from global project that is highly applicable as well in Indonesia is about standardization, modularization. That is, of course, highly applicable to reduce engineering complexity, improve the efficiencies, and optimize the schedule, especially in region where we know that logistics might be challenging. And we'll say another one that it's a strong lesson is around the local delivery capability. I consider that Indonesian has already a strong fundamentals, and by combining this local strength together with the global best practice, I'm sure we can further improve the project competitiveness and project deliveries. So Indonesia is a growing market, and I think that leveraging on all those lessons that come from a global project, we will create new significant opportunities for both local and global players.
Thank you, Pa. Thank you very much. So moving now to the local content, I'll come to you, Pa. So, and there was a question from the audience similar to what I wanted to ask is, how do you actually make the local content to be the enabler instead of a burden within a certain country? But let's talk about Indonesia specific and how, say, global technology and AI development can be incorporated here in country.
No, I think it's a great question, and especially, from McDermott's world, McDermott, a 103-year-old company, I think this is in McDermott's DNA, We don't see, as a company, we don't see a local content requirement, just a regulation. I can go on and on to give examples after examples wherein McDermott heavily invested in developing the local players, kind of giving back to the community, giving back to the country, and also use it as an enabler to make the project a success. It started, I would say, some 30 years back. I can see in the audience there are people here from McDermott having in this company for 20 plus years. The seeds that they sowed 30 years back in developing some small fabricator somewhere in Vietnam have been grown into a big way over the last 3 decades, and they are standing on their own feet now, and McDermott has given it back to the society in terms of countries and using it in terms of not just enabler, also, like giving back to the country. We have done similar stuffs in India. We are doing similar stuffs in Africa, and the list goes on and on. Especially from Indonesian perspective, I would say the largest yard of McDermott is set up in Batam some 55 years ago. Today it serves not just the Indonesia market, it serves the world as a whole. We are exporting large module structures from the Batam fabrication facilities all over the world. So yes, to wrap up this answer, I would say it's a great enabler, and we have been practicing and living it as a company over the last 30 plus years. Thank you.
Thank you. Chris, to yourself now. So think of, we talked about other countries. Now, if you think of Indonesia, what does Indonesia have to make this market competitive compared to the other countries?
The first thing I'd say is people. And there's a lot of smart Indonesian people. You know, you have a top university here in Jakarta, the Bandung Technical University, and we see those people right throughout our company. We've got hundreds of Indonesians in our company. We see them in our client offices in Brazil, and you know, I wouldn't underestimate the penetration that the Indonesian technical expertise, industrial expertise has globally. And then if you come back to the businesses, you know, Indonesia is almost already the hub of surf and in Southeast Asia at least. When we build projects in Australia, we do most of the work in Indonesia already. You know, the last 2 or 3 big projects we've done in Australia, you know, we've reeled the pipe in Indonesia, we've made the structures in Indonesia, we've coated the pipe in Indonesia, and then we've brought it down to Australia to build the projects. So, and they're LNG projects just like we have coming up here. So I wouldn't underestimate the businesses and the people that already exist. Okay, and now we have to apply that to the local context, of course. You know, the Abadi, the projects, and how do we localize it and with the partners, find the right partners, you know, build that long-term relationship. So, but we're starting from a strong place. You know, we're bringing our global expertise and localize it in the local context. And I think the pieces are there, and we'll get it. We'll get there.
Thank you, Pak Chris. I think that's impressive to learn from McDermott and Subsea 7 that the capabilities already exist to most extent, but we just need to apply it properly because, you know, Indonesia hasn't seen large capital development in terms of deep water, especially for a few decades already. So, but again, the base is there, so we just need to make sure that we use it. Just going back to this supplier-led solution, we talked about it. You said that there is some agility to it. So in your view, does regulation allow enough flexibility when it comes to the procurement? So maybe I want to hear that from the operators, from Rifkiandi or Simone.
Yeah, for sure. I see a lot of benefit, Nurzhan, on all the, let's say, technology and innovation when it comes to procurement. And I would say all the, let's say, the life cycle. As a way of example, we are leveraging a lot now on IA-based project control tools, predictive analytics, that gives the opportunity to the project teams basically to anticipate and to identify procurement bottleneck or schedule risk or cost deviation much earlier than the traditional reporting and monitoring systems. And this gives to the project management team the opportunity to take corrective action proactively. And of course, is improving significantly the efficiency and the way we are running the project. So it's really part of our life, and is essential. I cannot see how we can run now project without leveraging on technical capabilities, technology, and digital innovation.
Anything from your side, Rifkiandi?
Yes, in all projects, we encourage all the contractors to provide or to offer the base technology solution. In some part, we see that it may necessitate expanding regulation to support the technology solution provided by all the contractors that align with the government focus for the acceleration and the efficiency of the projects.
Thank you, Pak. Time flies, so just to wrap up the session actually, so I think we had some questions from the audience we try and answer along the way, so thank you for asking the question. The last question I have, and as a concluding remark probably from all of you guys, will be, what should the industry stop doing for fast and efficient development of the projects? Who wants to go first? And you can, yeah.
Maybe I can speak. I think we can go fast, huh? We can go very fast as contractors, but the key is the decision making, and is the bureaucracy and the decision making. So that is the critical path here. I don't think it's what we do as contractors that is slowing these projects down. It's the approval process through the regulations, and I think that is what needs to stop if we want to get these things really going fast and unlocking these projects quickly.
I would say give flexibility to the service providers, contractors, and have faith, and of course determine the overall boundaries and let the best contractors, come up with the best possible solution for the overall development. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think that as we discussed, we have to do our best to simplify the execution model, enabling the fast decision making, the early engagement of stakeholders. We can think to work sequentially, but we have really to work together since the day one with authorities, regulators, partners, and contractors to capture all the values and the benefits. And I think that, recently I saw things changing for better. So I'm very optimistic for the future because, as we mentioned, there are a lot of interesting and sizable projects here in Indonesia. And so we are really working all together and do our best to go in that direction.
It seems you guys cover everything, but yes, flexibility and the collaborative engagement with all the stakeholders that to boost the project execution and delivery faster. Yeah.
Thank you. It's impressive panelists today, impressive answers, and I think it was a good discussion. I hope that the audience agrees with me. Again, thank you for sharing your experience. We just hope that we can take everything what we discussed now and we implement it in real life, right, at real work. So again, thank you very much. So see you around. Terima kasih. Thank you very much. Thanks.
Thank you very much. Give the biggest round of applause to our moderators and speakers for the concurrent session 1. I would like to invite you to stay at the stage because we would like to have a little moment right now. At this moment, ladies and gentlemen, would like to invite IPA board, Mr. Wade Floyd and Mr. Wang Lei from the IPA board to kindly come forward to the stage for the presentation of a token of appreciation to our moderator and speakers from the concurrent session, Technology-Driven Innovation for Advancing Project Development. Please give the biggest round of applause for our moderator and our speakers, Mr. Nurzhan Ongaltayev, Mr. Biswdeep, Ms. Ratajczak, Mr. Simone Belli, and Bapak Rifkiandi Darajatun. Terima kasih juga kami ucapkan kepada Bapak dan Ibu yang telah berpartisipasi, telah mengikuti sesi ini dan memberikan pertanyaan yang memberikan insight luar biasa. Mengutip kata-kata dari moderator dan juga pembicara hari ini bahwa segala sesuatu ini dimungkinkan dengan adanya perkembangan teknologi, kolaborasi, namun ada pula yang menjadi beberapa pekerjaan rumah tangga. Birokrasi dan juga percepatan menjadi hal yang harus kita kerjakan bersama-sama. After we're giving the token of appreciation, thank you for Mr. Wade Floyd and Mr. Wang Lei from the IPA board to kindly come forward to the stage and giving the token of appreciation to our moderator and speakers. Mr. Wade Floyd, if you can continue to give the token of appreciation, and then later on we'll take a group picture together. Sesi concurrent pertama ini Bapak dan Ibu memberikan insight yang luar biasa. We will now take a group photo session in 3, 2, 1. Perhaps another power pose with a hand on the front, just to give an extra energy for today's morning session. 3, 2, 1. Thank you very much for our moderator and speakers. Also, thank you for Mr. Wade Floyd and Mr. Wang Lei from the IPA board that has gave the moderator and our speakers a token of appreciation. I would like to invite for all speakers and moderator to, you may be seated again, sir. Thank you so much again. Give the biggest round of applause for our moderator and speakers for the Concurrent Session 1. Ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to the end of Concurrent Session 1 on technology-driven innovation for advancing project development. On behalf of the organizing committee, we'd like to extend our sincere appreciation to